thank you for joining us. What an election night it was. It's over, and as has been our habit in recent years here at WBZ. On the Sunday after the election, we like to sit down and talk with some of the key architects of the winning gubernatorial campaign, and that's what we're doing this morning with our guests. On the left of your screen here is Will Kaiser, Senior Advisor to the Baker campaign. Will, congratulations and welcome. And to his left is Jim Conroy, the Baker campaign manager. Jim, congratulations and welcome to you.
Congratulations, Will.
Okay, fellas, when this began way back when, what did you see as the main lessons of Baker's failed 2010 run that you had to address?
I think the biggest challenge really was that Charlie had not allowed people to see kind of the moderate person that he really is. And he made it very clear from the get-go that his view of this campaign was, and one of the top priorities was going to be to let people see the real Charlie Baker, the person that he really is and that his friends know, and that many people who worked with him in the Weldon Cellucci administrations and even when he was at Harvard Pilgrim knew. And that really was our top priority.
Jim, what was your biggest fear when this started?
Biggest fear? Well, the biggest fear would always be losing, John. Unfortunately,
we
dodged that bullet this time. But as a transplant to Massachusetts, at least in a professional sense, it's always a challenge to get used to a new environment. I had a lot of help with a good team, a great candidate, and folks like Will.
All right. In the first post-primary poll, the WBUR Mass Inc. poll, your guy had 42% favorability, 21% unfavorability, 2-to-1, a nice statistic for you guys. Martha Coakley was at 47 favorable, 33 unfavorable. She led in that poll by 7. In the final Suffolk poll, just before Election Day, her favorability was the same, but Baker matched it. Her unfavorable rating was up to 44%, an 11% increase in 8 weeks. Baker led in that poll by 3. Let's start with you, Jim. What were the most important things that drove up her negatives and kept yours low?
We were always focused on our own message and Charlie's vision, and so I think a big part of that is, as Will articulated, Charlie's the ability this time to show voters, the real Charlie Baker, the authentic, person that he is, the bipartisan candidate, and then a focus on, a detailed plan. Charlie spent the entire campaign articulating a very serious and detailed vision for, what he felt were and voters felt were the biggest issues facing the Commonwealth.
And staying disciplined and on that message,
focusing on our own message.
Obviously, part of any campaign, you want to see the other opponent's negatives rise. What did you do? What did they do that contributed to that?
Well, I mean, I think what we did was we created a contrast between the Attorney General's lack of a plan or plans and Charlie's significant plans. I think they helped us by spending a great deal of their time talking about all the reasons that Charlie wasn't going to be any good at this job, and not enough reasons, giving voters enough reasons about why she wanted the job or what she would do in the job, other than some sort of kind of vague sense of the values that she would bring to the office. And I think voters really want some concrete sense of where you're going to go. And so her negatives grew, I think, because she was spending a lot of time attacking Charlie. We were spending a lot of time talking about our vision, and obviously that was revealed not only in kind of the candidates' messages, but also in the paid messaging as well.
And she got hit hard during the Democratic primary for being vague. So that played to her detriment and your advantage.
Without question.
It's also fair to say that Coakley entered the race with high negatives, whereas Charlie was a very low name ID candidate. Not much of that residual name ID stuck around from 2010. So the challenge for us was to increase Charlie's favorability while keeping those low negatives where they were, and for the most part, we were successful.
All right, fellas, let's take a short break, and we'll continue our conversation with two of the key architects of the Baker campaign in a moment.